Hey guys, and welcome to a Warhammer World Championship showdown between two mighty warriors. On the left-hand side, representing the Dwarfs and Clan Ungrund, is the Black Fawn, and he comes toe-to-toe with a fearsome competitor in the form of Krablin and the Skaven. And honestly, off the top of my head, I can't think of many more worse matchups for the Dwarvish folk than Skaven. It is pretty horrendous for sure. Skaven and High Elves would be my bet for the foes the Dwarfs don't really want to face, at least not on a regular basis. But let me know down below in the comments what you think on this matchup, and what is the true worst matchup for the Dwarfs. Anyway, leading the forces is going to be Belagar Ironhammer, and the Dwarfs in this matchup certainly need a trick or two up their sleeve. It looks like Black Fawn has plenty, coming in with King Lund Ironhammer on the left-hand side, and his Ethereal Bro, Halkan Half Stonebeard on the other side. Two Ethereal Lords who are available only to the sub-faction of Clan Ungrund, both coming in with the Ironbeard's Ring to give that weakness to fire damage. Now, why do you want to give weakness to fire damage? That is rather simple. You have a bucket ton of Iron Drakes, triple Iron Drakes across the board here. Certainly be very powerful up against Skaven, can roast a lot of those rat men who have their low armor, and at the same time the burnt -8 leadership, very powerful up against a cowardly faction such as the Skaven. We do have Slayers across the front line as well, including the Dragon Back Slayers and a bucket ton of Dwarf Warriors throughout, going as wide as possible. We even have some Miners to help support with those blasts and charges. So a lovely little Dowie Rush build. Not something you see every day, but again, you've got to try and put your opponent off guard when you are in such a terrible matchup. For the forces of the Skaven, we do have Skaven Slaves dotted all the way along. Cheap, cheerful, and very, very unhappy to be here. They're here to eat blasts and charges and shots to the faces. We have Clan Rats in the secondary line, should be able to hold a little while longer, but the real damage of this entire build is going to be coming in that range format. We have Warplock Jezzails galore, one here, one in the centre, which is the Natty Bobu's Sharpshooters, and another one over on this flank. We also have the Avalanche Mortars, the regiment-renowned Death Globe Mortars, who can do disgusting burst damage to the enemy. Protecting all these guys is a load of Rat Ogres. Looks like we have 3 once more. And those guys good counter-initiating units. Very fast and can punch quite heavily. With a Plague Priest coming in, it seems, with all the summons and all the good stuff. Let's just double check. Coming in with Pestilent Birth, as well as Plague and Vermintide. Let's actually give that a little pause there, so it looks like the battle is getting underway rather quickly. We have Deathmaster Snicketch leading the forces, and I think the Deathmaster is very powerful in this matchup. He can assassinate any of the Dwarven characters with relative ease, coming in with the Whirling Weeping Blade, such an awesomely badass ability and name, Deathmaster Sigil, and the regular Concealment Bombs, Cloak of Shadows, all that good stuff. And he does have an Assassin Brother as well, to really help him nuke down some of those Dwarvish characters, but not a bucket ton of magic damage to really deal with these Ethereal Thanes, which could be a little bit of a bonus for the Dwarvish folk here. But at the same time, if you have so many Sharpshooters aiming at one character, he's going to die regardless of if he's Ethereal or not. Instead, it seems like Krablin is going to be focusing down the Iron Drakes, a really good idea here, because these guys are one of the biggest damage dealers in this build. We have a lovely Clan Rat Summon in the front line, going to bog down these Slayers, hold them in place, and make them waste models on just a basic summon. Well, the Slayers really want to be getting into the back line, dancing and whirling around with their axes, cleaving up those Jezzails and other such troops. Slayers are now getting pounded down by the Mortars, which has already done fantastic damage to some of the Dwarf Warriors. And it looks like one unit of Iron Drakes isn't going to quite make it to the front line. However, the triple hero core is driving forward, aiming for that Plague Priest, absolute beeline for them. The second unit of Iron Drakes is now the main centre of attention, being picked apart there by the Warplock Engineers. That should allow the third one hopefully to get in there, but my god, this damage output is disgusting. These poor Iron Drakes. Yeah, these guys are going to get off a one desperate volley into the Plague Priest, not even getting on any good targets. King Lund Ironhammer has unfortunately been surrounded by triple characters, and you may be a feral buddy, but you are certainly no match for such mighty opposition. But Belagar is now supporting, beating down the assassin, and King Lund holding the line rather well. Looks like the rally has gone down, and the other Thane is pushing in. Now, the Thanes do cause terror. Another fantastic reason to take them in this matchup. Iron Drakes now pouring fire in onto the summoned unit of Plague Monks, who may well break before they even get to engage in combat. On this side, Clan Rats have been forced off. Likewise, Rat Ogres getting tussled up by Dwarf Warriors, and Miners are going down. In the layer, it looks like that Plague Monk summon did get completely broken. The Dwarfs are well and truly pushing back as hard as possible, with Avalanche Mortars and Natty Bobu Sharpshooters are on the run, and the Assassin has been terrified off. Snicketch Snickich terrified off, and the Plague Priest all on the run. The hero core of the Dwarfs driving into the heart of the Skaven force. Luckily for the Skaven, though, the Plague Priest is the first one back and can pop a sneaky Clan Rat summon to hold back the hero core, keep them at bay, and allow the Deathmaster and Assassin to regroup once more. But on the right-hand side, the Dwarfs have pushed through 2 units of Slayers, going after the Warplock Gazelles and driving away the Rat Ogres. Skaven getting forced back towards the corner of the map. Elsewhere, Dwarf Warriors are slowly getting beat down by Rat Ogres, and with some miners slowly trudging their way in the middle in a desperate attempt to chase down the Natty Bobu Sharpshooters. On the left-hand side, Slayers managing to get rid of this Clan Rat summon who's been dogging their footsteps, and rather wisely going after the more range and expensive units. And Slayers could well be a fantastic answer in this matchup. Deathmaster Sigil goes down on Belagar, and he's going to be a main focus of attention now for loads of sniping potential. The Dwarf Warriors have rallied, looks like the basic ones and Miners, and even some of the Iron Drakes have come back to the main showdown. And balance of power, though, is a little bit against the Dwarfs at the moment, probably due to how beat up their army is. But the Slayers, oh my god, they look so slow, they look knackered, covered in the blood of their enemies. Charge forward into the fray once more with some lovely sacrificial Skaven Slave Spears. Beautiful play by Krablin here, intercepting the Slayers, pinning them between Skaven Slaves and Spears, and some Rat Ogres to help drag them down and save the unit of Warplock Gazelles, which should be able to assassinate a ton of the characters. Kinglin Ironhammer has certainly seen better days, but he's also seen worse ones. He's still alive, which is a bonus, and he has managed to terrify off the Avalanche Mortars at the moment. Not before, though, they've wreaked a terrible blow on the Dwarvish hopes and dreams. It looks like the King may get sniped out as well. Nope, the snipes are going after the Dragonback Slaves instead. Not a bad idea. They are one of the fastest units in the Dwarf roster. Should be able to catch down a lot of the Skaven forces. Plague Priest once again coming in with a summon before cackling and running away for the backline protection. Slayers can get bogged down. They don't have too much of a choice here but to try and fight this. It looks like they're trying to drag their bodies through, but those nasty Clan Rats will do pretty good damage to them over time. Warlord Giselle's looking a little bit rough over on this flank. Rat Ogres have fled, and so have the Skaven Slaves, leaving just one unit to protect them against Miners and a unit of Dwarf Warriors who are continuously putting pressure onto the Skaven. And that's one thing Blackthorn has done amazing all game, is really a keep on gunning for those big targets. But likewise, Krablin, a master at the backline protection, it would seem. Deathmaster Snickich is going to jump back into the Dragonback Slaves, which is a risky opportunity, but it is a bait and trap, and in comes the Whirling Weeping Blades. Oh my god, that is devastating. Look at the number of dead Slayers, the decapitations. There is just Slayer heads all over the sands. But the Slayers, they're not going to be put off by that whatsoever. They're actually going to be driving forward to even juicier targets. Belagar Ironhammer, with his mighty silver shield raised, or bronze shield in fact, is desperately trying to take back these shots. But Deathmaster Snickich is luring him away. Assassin's Trophy going down, and now in comes the free Assassin core. The Plague Priest, the Assassin, and the Deathmaster. And with Belagar having the Rival Hide Talisman popped on him and Assassin's Trophies, he's not going to be long for this war. And oh my god, his health has been nuked! He was so healthy a mere matter of seconds ago. Slayers desperately run over here, but with Belagar going down, this is going to be a real rough fight now for the Dwarvish folk. However, Dwarf Warriors are slaughtering the remainder of the Rat Ogres, who don't have the greatest leadership in the world, and can now drive back onto the unprotected Warplock Gazelles. Likewise, Slayers doing a good job applying pressure to the Natty Bobu Sharpshooters, who have managed to use up a decent amount of their ammunition. However, in the back line, the Iron Drakes are managing to mop up a lot of the rallying Skaven forces. That Miners burnt leadership really coming in quite handy here. However, the Miners, as well as the Dwarf Warriors, are going to be fleeing due to the news of Belagar's demise, and the Clan Rats with Shields should be able to get in here and shut down the Iron Drakes, who are wavering themselves. Looks like iron losses may set in soon for the Dwarfs, but that doesn't mean this battle is over by any stretch of the imagination. As long as one Slayer still draws breath, there is a chance. And Deathmaster Snickich is terrified and running for his life. It looks like that Thane managed to give a big old metaphorical middle finger to the Deathmaster, who's going to be getting clipped in the heels, but he will rally from this. He turns around and slices and carves his way through some of the Slayers, doing a pretty decent job here, up to 61 kills. Oh my god, what an animation! He just flipped, disappeared, and reappeared behind you. Certainly not the type of rats I would like to find in my home. The Assassin as well, coming in with some of those Jiu-Jitsu backflips. And the Plague Priest somehow has managed to survive, mainly due to masterful summon play coming in by Krablin. One unit of Slayers does remain hunting down the Natty Bobu Sharpshooters, which is the moral of the story here, or what's been going on pretty much the entirety of the battle. But a lovely bit of crossfire is going to come in, and with that, Blackthorn shall be bowing out. Really awesome game. This came in the group stages, I believe the third group stage. Black Fawn and Krablin both having fantastic tournaments, it would seem. And what a game. Really interesting build coming in by the Black Fawn to try to overturn this honestly pretty horrific matchup. I don't know if this one is worse or the High Elf one is worse. Again, as I said before, let me know down below what you think the worst matchup is for Dwarfs. They've got quite a few of them. Also a load of good ones as well, however. And yeah, really interesting idea coming in with the ethereal units. It's a little bit predictable because you have to go Clan Ungrund in order to bring them, but Krablin didn't bring too much magic damage. The Plague Priest has some, and that's about it. I mean, Avalanche Mortars, but they're not really going to be able to go after such units anyway. So we will go to damage value and damage stats and all that good stuff in just a second. But if you guys enjoyed, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help us out quite a bit. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers. We'll certainly be doing a giveaway and all that good stuff for then. Also, feel free to comment down below. Again, let me know what you thought of the battle, what you'd like to see in the future. It's a good indicator as well of what you would like to see. Yeah, apart from that, really awesome stuff. If you do want to join the Patreon or join my Discord, there are links down below. Patreon is where you can support the channel, and Discord is where you can get regular updates on how I'm doing, how the channel's doing, as well as getting involved in the tournament scene, chilling out with a load of cool guys. We have over 500 members now of the Discord, which is pretty wild stuff. And yeah, you can get involved, send me replays, all that good standard stuff. But let's have a little look now at the builds, and we'll start with the rather valiant Clan Ungrund. A good effort indeed. And Belagar, 766 damage value isn't too shabby. He's particularly cheap when he does come in basically naked. However, that real nasty dragging him away from his friends, Assassin's Trophy, Rival Hide Talisman, he got nuked in a matter of seconds. The Assassin and Deathmaster Snickich certainly getting the job done. As for the Ethereal Fanes, how did they fare? Well, on one of them, 338 damage value, certainly not too good. But the other one, a pretty impressive 904, and that Terror can work wonders up against the Skaven forces. Unfortunately, the Dwarfs don't have too much to chase away units, which are indeed breaking and running so often. Monster Blasting Chargers got some decent kills, 35 and 50, but not the greatest value. The Dwarf Warriors as well, a bit of a mixed bag, many of them faltering and failing, but this unit at the front certainly leading a good charge of 637 damage value. The Quad Slayers, again, mixed bag. One unit, 258, really focused down quite heavily by the enemy range, but other units, 1.2k damage value, 764, 1,627 from the Dragonback Slayers. And again, they're one of the fastest units in the Dwarf roster, apart from some of those flying units, so very good at hunting down enemy artillery crews. For the Iron Drakes, 796 damage value isn't too shabby on this unit. The other two, though, focused down. Krablin saw the threat, realised what he needed to take out in order to win this battle, and did it rather well. Deathmaster Snickich, 67 kills and 2.2k damage value. Amazing work there from him, doing a hit-and-run style of approach, which is really how he should be played. This Assassin, not doing that well, to be honest. 557 damage value, but it's really his debuffs which helped out massively. Likewise, the Plague Priest, a solid 769 damage value, and absolutely wonderful summons. The summons were what won this game. Holding back Slayers, bogging them down, stopping the Dwarves from getting into that back line. Clan Rats along the board, of course, are here to simply die, and they did do that in their droves, but that is the whole point of them, to keep the other units protected. Likewise, the Rat Ogres, 627 damage value on this one, only 346 and 161 on the other ones, but they did their job, put their bodies on the line and defended the damage output, which comes in the form of the Warplock Jezzails. 1,065 damage value on this one, 1,353, 741. Certainly made a big hole in the centre of that Dwarvish build, which they simply could not plug. Nearly 1,000 damage value as well on the Avalanche Mortars. Not doing quite as well as I expected them to do, considering the amount of burst damage they did do early on, but still certainly not too shabby whatsoever. 10,000 damage dealt and 42 kills. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. We will be doing more Warhammer World Championship stuff later in the week. On Friday, we will be casting the final positions for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. So everyone who gets knocked out of the quarterfinals, you will then see them face each other down in best of 5. So that's going to be 4 best of 5s, I think, that we will indeed be playing. Obviously, they'll be split into 2 groups. both players will play each other, and then the losers will play each other, and the winners will play each other, and that will list out, obviously, the priority, which is quite important because there's a decent amount of money involved, so the higher you finish, the more of the prize pool you do get. So make sure to keep an eye out for that. It should be 5:30 BST, which is British summertime on Friday. But then again, you know, I'm going to run that by with the players. I want to make sure they're all happy with it. If we have to move it a little bit, we can indeed do that. But until next time, peace, guys. And as always, stay awesome.